Welcome to our 39th devotional video of LightHouse KinShip, Fullness of Time.
The appropriate time. Today is Friday, December 17th, 2021. Monica and I are here at the Upper Falls on Coal River at Meadowwood Park in St. Albans, West Virginia.
Ecclesiastes 3:1, NASB. There is an appointed time for everything, and there is a time for every matter under heaven. Do you wrestle with God? When I think of wrestling, the mother side of me goes back to when Bobby and my sons were younger. That was a constant activity in our home. Genesis chapter 32, verses 22 through 32 tells us that Jacob physically wrestled with God. I cannot physically wrestle with God, but I spiritually and emotionally wrestle with God. In the book of Habakkuk, we see that the prophet was certainly one-on-one with God. Habakkuk had many detailed questions for God, and I too have many detailed questions for God.
Habakkuk 1, 1-4 NLT. This is the message that the prophet Habakkuk received in a vision. How long, O Lord, must I call for help? But you do not listen. Violence is everywhere, I cry, but you do not come to save. Must I forever see these evil deeds? Why must I watch all this misery? Wherever I look, I see destruction and violence. I am surrounded by people who love to argue and fight. The law has become paralyzed, and there's no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteous, so that justice has become perverted.
Unfortunately, our nation has become just as Habakkuk described his nation. How does a nation lose its moral compass? When God's statutes, rules, commandments in his heart are no longer being taught and sought after within the family, church, and the nation as a whole.
Deuteronomy 11, 1 and 18-20 ESV. You shall therefore love the Lord your God and keep his charge, his statutes, his rules, and his commandments always. You shall therefore lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, talking of them when you are sitting in your house, and when you are walking by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
As Bobby and I continue our pilgrimage across our nation, we are completely heartbroken as just how far our nation has distanced itself from God's heart. Not only are our hearts grieved for our nation as a whole, but our hearts are grieved personally for our own loved ones who have allowed their hearts to become distant from God's heart and ours. However, just as God answered Habakkuk.
Habakkuk 2, 2 and 3 NLT. Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed.
God assured Habakkuk, and God has assured Bobby and me, that at the appointed time, fullness of time, there is a harvest for the righteous.
Jeremiah 17, 7 and 8 ESV. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord. He is like a tree planted by water, that sends out its roots by the stream, and does not fear when heat comes, for its leaves remain green, and is not anxious in the year of drought, for it does not cease to bear fruit.
And there is a harvest for the unrighteous as well.
Jeremiah 17, 5 and 6 ESV. Thus says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart turns away from the Lord. He is like a shrub in the desert, and shall not see any good come. He shall dwell in the parched places of the wilderness, in an uninhabited salt land.
This concludes our 39th devotional video of Lighthouse KinShip, Fullness of Time, Jeremiah 17:10 ESV. I, the Lord, search the heart and test the mind, to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his deeds.
Monica and I thank you for traveling along with us here today at the St. Albans Festival of Lights, St. Albans City Park in St. Albans, West Virginia. Come along and journey with us by subscribing to our channel and hit the little notification bell so you won't miss our next stop. And also, if you would, give us a thumbs up, and we'd appreciate you sharing these videos on your social media platforms. And thank you for leaving your comments below on how these devotions are helping you. And if you would leave your prayer requests, we'd like to know how we can pray for you.